up to now, their courses are not reflecting on Sakai, so they couldn't. They are not getting access to the assignment.
Whenever a student sends you any query, give them my email. Thankfully, you are.
Okay.
I'm just explaining to help you. Give them the coordinator's email or the examiner's email then, okay? So that you are immune from any responsibility. Yes, that is what we are supposed to do. We have told the students. Now, all those who are not on Sakai, when they get onto Sakai, they get to do the assignment that they have missed, okay? So tell them that.
Okay, madam. Okay.
I think that the people are striking now, so that's also one of the reasons why they are not being added yet. So they shouldn't worry. When they get onto the site, they are the reason why all the assignment ones have been extended. So if you have already submitted and you saw the notice, it's just telling you that the due date has been extended to allow those who just got on to also submit theirs. It doesn't mean we should resubmit. Okay. But thank you for the prompt to assure them that they should be at peace. Okay. All right. I'm still waiting for questions. If there aren't any questions, then we go through the slides. Okay, so last week we looked at Unit 3. Can someone summarize what they saw in Unit 1? Let's work it that way. Okay, so let's start with Unit 1 first. Tell me what you have learned in Unit 1. Because we have already touched on what we need to cover before this week. We are lucky. We are just brushing through and mopping up. So you have to do a lot of the talking. Otherwise, we won't have any substantive content to record for your colleagues. Okay. So I'm asking, what have we learned in Unit 1? The slide. If you look at your slides, you look at the course content, you record the recordings we've done and posted. What was the content that was covered in Unit 1? And I'm expecting the hands to shoot up, my dear friends, okay? Quickly, so that you tell me, oh, Unit 1, we discussed this, we learned this. Another person, I should be looking for hands that are up, you know, to answer the question. So what did the Unit 1 cover? A. Okay. How about Unit 2? Thank you, Lily Violet. We didn't do anything in Unit 1. Is that what I'm being told? Gideon Ampo, go ahead.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
We started with sentence shape thought, and we said that sentence shape thought refers to the different form of sentence that express the different thought of human being. Then we said you have three types. You have three types of sentence shape thought. You have the interrogative, imperative, and declarative. Now, when you talk about the the interrogative are also called questions. They are sentences expressed to seek information.
Wow. My brother is well read.
And
Well
you
done. Keep going.
and we went to imperative. The imperative are sentences expressed to get someone to perform an action. Examples of the imperative are take off your cap. And we went to say you have three forms of imperative. You have the command, you have the request, and you have the directive.
Very good.
And
Wow.
and we said that some questions or some sentences can become interrogative at the same time become what imperative. And how does it become? It will become explicitly interrogative and implicitly imperative.
Very good. What does that mean?
And
Hey, you are my TA now. TA Gideon. Go. Explain that.
okay. Okay. When you talk about explicitly interrogative, example, when you take a please, will you close the door? This question is in two forms. It can become explicitly interrogative in a way that it is what telling you to what to what do you call it, to do something. like you are asking a question from the person,
Mm.
and it is implicitly or giving you a command.
Mhm. Very good. So it means
Okay, then you,
as if it is asking you as if it's seeking information, but it actually
yes,
wants you to act. Shouldn't you
yes,
shut up when your father is talking? If I said that, shouldn't you keep quiet when your father is talking to you? That is, I'm not asking your view. You shouldn't say, yeah, well, I think I should. No, the person is telling you to shut up. Who say also we did oh, did you see the door open wide to bring in dust? You see, it could be that I'm really asking for information that did you see it open? Or it could be that I'm telling you, did you see? So what we want to show the explicit and implicit meanings. That's what our friend has just said. Very good, well covered. So he has covered the types of interrogative expressions. You don't have to, I don't know if you touched on it and I missed it. Emotive expressions and sentence fragments. Would you want to say something on that, Gideon, please? Then you have finished that for unit 1. Okay, thank you so much, Gideon. I see Joshua referring to that.
okay.
Josh, go ahead. Oh, Joshua, please go ahead.
Yes, madam.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you. Okay, so about emotive expressions, we discuss them as sentences that express feelings or exclamations.
Very
Like when
good.
we use the words like wow, brilliant, bravo in those times, they tend to carry an expression, the feeling of the person are expressed. And then we also said that they are not truth bearers. Okay, they can't be truth or false. They just tend to carry the expressions of the speaker.
Excellent. Excellent. So
And
if
then
you listen to your own
sentence fragment.
colleagues,
Okay, so about sentence fragments, usually they are incomplete sentences. They do not express a complete thought. So we say a sentence carries a subject and a predicate and has a complete thought. But with sentence fragments, they tend to be a sentence but do not carry a complete thought. That's what I say about sentence.
very, all these are so important, my dear friends, and they capture a lot of topic 1. Well done. Amos, your hand is up. Maybe you want to touch on why then we say all statements are sentences, but not all sentences are statements. If anyone can touch on that, why would we say that? Thank you, Amos. Amos Intilibe. Go ahead, say. Please, I want a very participatory class. Okay, so let's try. If you know it, put up your hand. You make your own class interesting, and then you encourage yourselves and your colleagues to also be encouraged. Okay, so go ahead. I don't want to take Gideon again. If you do that, he will hijack the class. Okay, he's already shining. Someone else tell us why then we say all statements are sentences, but not all sentences are statements. It's still on unit 1. Oh, nobody. Oh, okay. Let me take Dorcas Dompre. I see hands up now. Dorcas, go ahead.
Okay, madam, I think the reason why not all sentences are statements is all statements are truth bearers, but not all sentences are truth bearers.
Well done. Can you put an example to each, please? So that those who don't understand this, your very polished, summary can still grasp something small, Dorcas.
Okay. A type of sentence like an interrogative sentence like this. Interrogative sentences are not very.
True or false? That's what
Yeah.
Madam. Very good. So if I say, where is your mother? Dorcas is telling us that if you heard me say, where is your mother? You won't respond true or false to it, because this expression, if it doesn't bear truth, it's not a truth bearer. It doesn't have a truth value. These are all Unit 1, 3 weeks ago. But statement, the one we call statement, that type of sentence that we call a statement, is distinct. Sentences include statements. So statement is also one type of a sentence. But inside the box of sentences, there are other types, like what? Interrogative, she just gave one, like exclamations, which we call emotive expressions. They are all inside it, like imperative, stand up. When I say stand up, you don't say true. Keep quiet, you don't say false to that, you see. So these are all types of sentences. But a statement is a special type of a sentence. How special is it? It is that type of sentence which has a truth value, which bears true, which can be either true or false. That's what Dorcas meant. So she says statements, all statements, those that are saying something that can be true or false. Today is Friday, it's a statement. Ghana gained independence 2010, it's a statement. It doesn't have to necessarily be true or false. It's just having the ability to be either true or false. That makes it a statement. So all statements have a truth value, the value of truth, either true or false. But not all sentences have the ability to be true or false. Well done. Now I want another fine gentleman or lady to tell us the types of statements now. See the build-up. Your friends have done very well. I suppose is the way the class is. So let's ask someone else to do the types of statements and help us understand it. Anybody? Still on Unit 1 quickly, then we move to Unit 2. I'm not projecting that slide any longer because you have it already. I'm just taking your feedbacks on it, okay? Anybody? Oh, the types of statement, the types of declaratives, or the types of assertions, or the types of propositions. I'm saying the same thing. Hey, it's still Gideon and Joshua Ferrio. I want other hands. There are 134 of us already. Okay, thank you, Lady Felicity. Very good. I see more hands. I see Yvette. I see Patience. So let me take Felicity Asante then. The types of statement. You can just mention them, and then we'll
Madam,
build up.
please. Factual statements, value, judgment, and definition.
Very good. Very good. So factual statement, value, judgment, and definition. Good. Please, can anyone explain what a factual statement is? Please. In your own words. You don't forget the key words. Objectivity. So factual statements are objective. That means it doesn't depend on your perspective or your opinion. It's a statement. It's an expression that can be true or false, yes. But the actual truth or falsity doesn't depend on what you feel, what you think, you the speaker thinks. No, it is objective. Everyone observation, the 5 senses, seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, or smelling, can agree if they use the language. If they are users of that language, they can see the truth or falsity of it objectively, not about the subject. Okay? So it is raining at Legon. The expression "it is raining at Legon" is a factual statement. Right now, I'm on Legon campus. It is factually false that it is raining at Legon campus now. The next minute, it could be factually true. What makes it a factual statement is that it doesn't, it is an objective matter based on senses. It describes how the world is right now. Okay, the description may fit or may not fit. So if it fits, it's factually true. If it doesn't fit, it's factually false. There is no subjectivity to it. Okay. Whilst value judgment, we said, is also a statement. It can be either true or false, except that the truth or falsity is what? It's based on the subject viewpoint. Legon is a beautiful campus. That is a value judgment. It's a statement that can be true or false, yes. But beautiful campus depends on who is speaking. For someone who comes from maybe another campus, he might think, this one is beautiful. No, this is not beautiful. Come to my campus and see. That is beautiful campus. You see? So whether it is actually true or false depends on the point of view of the speaker, the subject. So you are not describing Legon. You are prescribing what you think should constitute beautiful campus. That is why it is no longer a factual statement. That one has become a value judgment, all because of the value term beautiful that was used. Okay, that's the second type of statement, which is another way of saying the second type of declarative, second type of what? Assertion, the second type of proposition. Then there is the third one, definition. That one gives you the meaning of the word. It doesn't describe or prescribe. It gives you the meaning of the word that is being used. So a definition will have two parts, the definiendum and the definiens. Those three should be good enough to show you the types of definitions, the types of statements. Any questions? If you got that, then you've gotten the substantive part of Unit 1. You can now engage the introductory part of that unit on critical thinking to get why we say critical thinking, for example, is topic neutral. What does that mean? Topic neutral. I see Yvette's hand. Should I take Yvette now? Okay, Yvette, please go ahead. That's the introductory part. I sent you a recording that I said you should start from the 17th minute onwards. You will see that you get some introductory content on how to understand critical thinking, why are we doing it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, please go ahead. Any one of you. If Yvette is not able to for now, let's take Boso Rosemary on what we mean. For example, when we say critical thinking is topic neutral. That is in your slide. And we discussed it. Okay. Or if you're unable to answer, it feels okay when you say, oh, please, I'm unable to, or something like that, so that I can pass it on. Sometimes I feel it's network, so I want to give you time. Let's take Joshua Ferry then. Josh, you're back.
Okay, madam. So it basically means that critical thinking cuts across all disciplines.
Very good.
And applies to all academic disciplines, every aspect of everyday life.
Very good. So it's not specific to a discipline. Well done. That is what is neutral to the topic. When we get to Unit 6, you see that we'll say deduction is also neutral to the topic. Deductive way of reasoning. Doesn't care. We can say all mangoes are fruits. My lecture is a mango. It has to follow, therefore, that my lecture is a fruit. And the reason is the pattern of thought is neutral to the topic. It's topic neutral. So in the same way, when we talk, I would say when we are thinking critically, we don't have a restriction on what the thinking is on. It applies to all disciplines, regardless of the subject matter there. Well done. I think there was also some talks about, I gave you quite a lot of introductory content there to settle you in well into what you are doing. And then now when we go to the substantive content, then you are okay. So we now moved on to Unit 2. Do you have any questions on Unit 1? Ask me, I'm here, so that I can help you understand. After you have engaged the content, of course. Any questions on Unit 1? Please. Rosemary, if you have a question, your hand is still up, then you can ask it. If it's not a question, then I will confidently move on to Unit 2, knowing that we have mopped up our question, our Unit 1. Okay. I see Emmanuel Cote's hand. Emmanuel, is there a question? Please go ahead.
Yes, madam, I have a question.
Please go ahead, sir.
Madam, please, for the value judgment, I to get the understanding of the moral judgment.
Emmanuel, you may have to speak just a little bit up. Your voice is quite faint.
Madam, please, for the value judgment, I would like to get the understanding of the moral value judgment non-moral.
Okay, moral versus non-moral value judgment. Okay, so if a judgment is a moral one, then it means that it prescribes on the rightness or wrongness of human action that have moral implications. That's why we label it moral value judgment. It plays on the morality of human action. Okay, so you are using the term right, wrong, good, bad, corrupt, stuff like that. But I'm saying that, so moral means you are prescribing on what is right or wrong about human actions, which connote morality, which has moral connotations. So if I say abortion is evil, for example, the example I gave you, abortion is evil. I'm using evil, so it makes it a value judgment. And evil talking about what? Human action, abortion. So it becomes what? A moral value judgment. But if I had said my table is a good one, or I have a good phone, and stuff like that, like we earlier did, then that one will become a non-moral value judgment because it is not any issue that borders on morality, even though I've used the value term. Okay, so that is basically how I do it, so that it doesn't become too complex for you. You'll get some examples also in the test. All right, thank you for prompting on that. It's part of the unit 1. So we have revised our unit 1 very well. Unit 2, you do a lot of the talking, and we even keep the thing muted in a while. All right, so let's have your summary feedbacking on unit 2. What did the unit 2 engage? Please go ahead. Thank you, Rosemary. Go ahead.
All right. In unit 2, we look at 6 types of definitions, well-defined words, open textured words, and problems arising with definitions. And in definitions, we said it is a meaning to a word. And then we look at 2 parts of the definition, that is the definiendum and then the definient. The word defined is the definiendum, and the rest of it, the sentence, is the definient.
Hey, Sister Nabi, go ahead.
We look at the aspects of definitions, which are the connotations and the denotations. And we said the connotations of the word determines the denotations. So when the connotation changes,
Hey,
the
are you a G or something? Hold on for a minute. Because how you are. Hey, this one you've made me happy, pa. I like the way all the people set us off. It's like they are teaching. That's very impressive. Keep it up. This city campus, I'm very, very impressed. Go ahead, my lady.
So it's like when the connotation changes, the denotation also changes.
Well
and then
done.
we look at types of definitions. We have lexical, ostensive, operational, stipulative, theoretical, and then real.
You are rapping. Go ahead. Can you give us a summary to each one of them so that those who have never seen that slide in their world can at least get something from our revision?
Yes, for the lexical definition, that is the dictionary definition we find in most dictionaries, or most dictionaries.
Very good.
So for the ostensive, let's say we use colors to identify them. Yes, there are definitions that are demonstrated in real life.
Exactly. So you point to you are trying to give meaning. So you point to like this to show the person the meaning. The person doesn't know what color blue. When you point, you say, oh, you don't know color blue. This one is color blue. And you are pointing at something that is color blue. What you are doing is an ostensive definition. Very good. Continue.
Yeah. And operational definitions, we said those are the definitions that normally we find in our courses, for example, chemistry. When you are asked to demonstrate, let's say, diffusion and osmosis, we all know how we do it. So those are the kind of
So those who are listening, where I feel that we should add a little that chip in so that you get the correct thing fully, okay? So Madam's point is, when it's an operational definition, you give the steps to follow. You give the steps to follow to get to the meaning of the word. It's one after the other to get there. So you may not even be doing it yourself, because if you do it yourself, it becomes ostensive definition. Ostensive definition, either you are pointing to it or you are doing it by yourself, okay? To show the person the meaning. Where are they? I'm projecting alongside, because some of them, when you see, it helps to keep it easily in your mind, okay? So, oh dear, why have I gone too far away? There it is on your screen. So operational definition, you give the steps or the instruction that will lead you to the conclusion. But when it is ostensive, then you point to show the meaning. You point to it like this to show it its meaning, or you demonstrate, you do it for us to see. So you can show me what fufu is, the food fufu, by pointing to it on the menu. When you see a poster of it, there you say, this one is fufu, that one is not fufu, that one is wachi, this is fufu. What you are doing, pointing to it, is ostensive. Or you can show me fufu by doing it. So you are preparing fufu for me to see how fufu is done. Or you see that, or I'm dancing Balugu. When you say, what is Balugu? I can point to those dancing the Balugu to show you Balugu ostensively. Or I can do it myself for you to see Balugu and shake and shake and shake and say, you see what I'm doing? This is Balugu. It is still ostensive. So operational will be the steps by step one, where I show you how to get to it. Okay, so I may not do it, but I'll just show you. If you want to get fufu, buy cassava, do this. That one, I'm showing you the operation to follow to get to the meaning of that unknown word. Okay, until then, the stipulative.
Yes, that one, they are the jargons that we use. And then in that class, I quite remember, he said, when you come to the class and you said you want water to drink, between you and the first step, you know it is not water, but then alcohol. So they are just
yes. So it will be a stipulate. I'm just laughing my head off. You see how you remember the example. It will help you keep the concept. So between myself and our rep, then water will be what? Stipulative definition. But we all have a lexical meaning of water, which is not sobulu or gin. But between class rep and myself, we'll have our stipulative, what we have agreed on by fiat. When we get to essential, verbal dispute versus substantive disagreement, now you see why we say we are able to stipulate meanings to resolve a verbal dispute. If it is a dispute about language, by stipulative definition, we can resolve it because we can agree on something. We are saying the same thing differently when it's a verbal dispute. Now I'm in unit 3. Which we have done already. What we are doing is almost like a revision to fill in every gaps you have in preparation for the next unit, you see. So what I'm saying is, if it is a verbal dispute, you are able to resolve it by a stipulative definition. Why? It is simply because you can agree. So stipulative means we agreed on it to use it that way. And why are we able to agree when there's a verbal dispute? Because we are really not saying two different things. We are saying one thing, but we are using two different languages to say that same thing. Okay, so that's the link there. Then there's the theoretical one, the one that you have to know a whole academic discipline to be able to make that state, to be able to understand that definition. Water is H2O. We can define water as H2O. That is a theory-based definition. You have to understand what the H stands for, what the 2 stands for, what the O there is. It's not 0, it's O. And all the room temperature and stuff is a whole discipline on it. So we said all that. And the real definition is several names. We said that if you really define, then it will be well defined because you are able to change the places of definientum and definiens, etc., etc. Okay. If you think that, oh, doc, a certain portion, it's not too clear, have a specific question, ask. If you don't have a specific question, but you need clarity, the video recording is there when we met, okay? So you go back and forward and backward to get to the specific place you want emphasis on, and then enrich yourself. That's how you do it, okay? All right, we move on. I want someone else to talk about open textured and well-defined terms on your screen. Thank you. Elisha, I'll say your hand is up.
Okay. Good morning, madam.
Morning, sir. Please go ahead.
Please, I want to talk about the types of definitions.
Okay, you go ahead.
I found out that there is a definition called the precising definition.
The what, please?
Precising definition.
Is it in your textbook?
No, it's in the slides.
And whose slides? My own?
Not yours, but I saw it in the slides.
Okay. And it doesn't mean it is right or wrong. It just means that perhaps he put it because he's teaching, so he wants to use something to help you understand. But your reference point all the time is the textbook, because there's so much we can say on the course. But we keep the course in focus to be fair to everyone. That's why there's a required text. And that one is not there. Right.
Okay.
So someone else, please, if you have a question. Is it Joshua Aferi?
Yes, but I don't have a question. I wanted to comment on the open gesture. Yes, please.
Please go ahead, sir. Thank you so much, Joshua. You are doing well, and you and Gideon and others as well. Please go ahead.
Okay. So we looked at open tested and then well-defined terms. And then we said the open tested are also called open class concept or essentially contestable terms.
Excellent.
We said a word or
continue.
We said a word or a definition is said to be open tested when it has different meanings, or different meanings could be conjured out of that word or that definition. And then we stated various examples as family, justice, fidelity, and all those stuff. And I remember my TA at tutorials telling me that when we say family, someone might say family is love from my girlfriend as family. Someone might say family as love from my mother. Someone might also define family as my lecturer giving me free marks in exams. Someone might, so we might all define family, or we might get different meanings into family, making the word family an open tested term or essentially contestable term.
Well done. I won't add anything to that. That's perfectly done. Please go ahead.
And then we look at word-defined concept. And then in a word-defined concept, we say it makes the definition completely clear. When we look at them, it also usually applies to certain disciplines. Most of the times, it applies in certain disciplines. And then they say we usually find them in deductive studies like mathematics or logic.
Excellent.
Yes, please. And then we say in those definitions or those terms, when you state their meaning, when you state them, you can't contest the terms, or you can't try to derive other meanings from that term as and when they've been stated in those disciplines.
Very good. You can have your alternative way of using those terms. They don't permit that. The system called mathematics doesn't permit you to have your own meaning when you use plus or minus equal to. Then you say, oh, me when I say equal to, I mean something else. No, if you want to do math, the even number means this, a number that is divisible by 2 equally without a remainder. That is what even number is. When you are doing maths, you can't have your own version of even number. But if you are doing sociology or psychology or politics or law, justice, the term justice connotes not just equal treatment of all. It could also be what? Positive affirmation, affirmative action, where you discriminate in a way that is fair. We are watching the track event on TV now, and we realize that when they are doing the 200 meters where there are curves, or even the 400 meters, the people don't start from a straight line. The one in the first lane seems to be far back there, while the one in the 9th lane is ahead. And if you don't understand fairness, you will think that is cheating. So justice can connote what seems to be unfair, unequal treatment, but which ultimately is what is fair. That's another example to show you that people can have different connotations, different alternative interpretations or meanings to concepts which may not necessarily be the same as the one that the other person had. Okay. All right. So let's have someone else deal with. Thank you so much, Joshua Ferry. I think you're doing very. Are you in our group really? Because I want to make sure that we have plenty A's and A's. Okay, A's that people earn by themselves. Well done. I want someone else to talk about. Let's quickly slide up. I'm projecting our unit 2 as we revise. It's all revision. All revision. So on the screen now. Oh, on the screen now is to do the what's the name? The problems we have with definitions. Please go ahead. Is it Faustina Ohui, do you want to help us there, or I take Clement Bafo? My ladies, go, go, go. This is a ladies' class. Please. Is it Clement?
Madam.
Okay, Clement. Please, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, so we said we have 4 problems with definitions. The broad, narrow, circular, and vague. And Madam, should I explain them?
Yes, please do. Explain them, sir. In your own words. Or
so for the...
You know what that does? It helps those who may not have done anything to know that, oh, it's doable. This is my colleague speaking. Okay. And then if there is a voice, they can look for you to help them. So go ahead.
So I'm explaining the circular. The circular, for example, when we are defining a bachelor, then you said a bachelor is a bachelor. A bachelor is a bachelor who is then. That means we are repeating the same thing. So here we said you are committing what we call tautology. Or maybe you are defining morality and say morality is living a moral upright life. I've said nothing because you are repeating the same thing. That is, we are begging the question. We are begging the question. So it looks tautologos. And you said we should be using that word.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Brian. It looks what? Che. We have this in our team, Charlie. Go ahead. It's very correct. So you are begging the question.
Begging the question. So secular. The problem we have the question, the definition is secular. And then the next one was broad. When the definition is broad, you are defining something, but you are defining not just stating a fact. For instance, a girl is a human being. A girl is a human being. The problem you have with the definition is broad because it means if you don't know human being, you should look at a girl.
It means if you don't know a girl. It means you don't know a girl, look at human being. Yeah.
Yes. So you make it broad. So it's very broad. That definition has a problem called broad. And another problem is called narrow. And the definition is narrow. You are defining something, but you are limiting it. You are limiting it. These are just few of, but it could be several other people. Like, for instance, you are defining science. It says science, the study of chemistry. Meanwhile, you have others. So this means that you are just, the chemistry is just a few of them, but can include several other, like physics.
Very good. That's a very good example.
I'm narrowing the definition. That definition. So we said it is narrow. And then the last one is vague. When the definition is vague, for instance, mostly when we define a word in a proverbial or metaphorical or idioms, we never said those words are vague. So I remember you give an example like democracy is freedom for all, and you said what and for all. You said what is freedom and for all what, all animals, all human beings, even including prisoners. So when you say democracy is freedom for all, what do you mean? So vague means it is not clear. You have make general thing. Why any specific? So what?
You did very well.
Okay, madam.
Please, does anybody have a question for Amen? Ask him. He's the expert on problems of democracy.
Yes, madam.
Except problems of definition.
Yeah, madam. Please, if you say the meaning of evil is murder, madam.
Who's asking the question now? Please, let
I'm
the
the one asking.
The I is the one I want to know because 3 mics were unmuted. Is it Wilfred Ajoy? Oh, please, the person who had a question, I just wanted to know who you are. If you just unmute and ask, I've muted everyone now. So if you unmute, we'll know who. Go ahead.
Yes, madam. I wanted to ask if you say evil is murder without saying the meaning of evil is murder. Is it still
if you say evil
narrow
is murder,
statement?
it just means, and we say you want us to take it to be a definition. Then you are saying if you don't know evil, look at murder. Okay, evil is murder. It's just another way of saying. I mean, if we gave it to you as a definition, it could be factual. It could be something else. But if we say take this as a definition, what would you find wrong with this kind of definition? If we define evil as murder, so if we say evil is murder, it means I'm saying if you don't know evil, which is the definition, look at what murder. That would be restrictive. Yes, it will still be narrow.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, so hands are still up. I think I need to shut up a little and let people talk. So on the screen, we saw these examples. You can always refer to the other content. And that is how we ended our Unit 2 beautifully. Then we shot on to Unit 3. Tell me what you had in Unit 3 now. Unit 3. I see Gideon, Ampo, and Faustina Ohui. Who wants to help us, please? Please, Faustina, do you want to set the ball rolling for us on that one? Thank you.
Hello, madam.
Yes, my dear. Go ahead.
Yeah, we talked about verbal and substantive disagreement, and with the verbal, we said the disputants disagree because they are using the same words consistently. So, for instance,
Faustina, is this from your background?
Like, for instance, when we say something like the girl is beautiful, someone might say the girl is nice. Meaning they are saying the same thing, but they are using different statements.
Very good.
Then with the substantive.
No, the feedback is not too pleasant. Now go ahead.
With the substantive, with this one, the discussion disagree because they have different views, like different facts about every. So with this one, situations cannot be resolved. They are meant to be resolved, but they can never be resolved.
The attempt may not work. Thank you so much, Faustina. Sorry, you have a very bad background, but don't worry, we got what you said. Let's take someone else to continue for us. Thank you very much. I want John Kwao. You haven't spoken today, so please go ahead with your input. John Kwao.
Okay. Yes, madam. Okay, please. I would like to talk about the verbal and then the substantive disagreement. Can I proceed? Okay, so please, To the verbal, they said they are actually saying the same thing, but different opinion. So they are not disagreeing after all that they are saying, even though they mean the same thing, but with different perspective or point of view. And then to the substantive disagreement, that one, they all have the same word, but different way of seeing it. Yeah, that's how I'll put it. Different way of seeing it. For instance, someone say she's a nurse because she has a certificate from the training school. And then the other one to say that no, not really a nurse because she does not take care of her patients. For this, it became very difficult for them to understand or to get into a stipulative definition because of their point of view. Let's say I've written the number 6 down, but the one standing at the top is seeing it as 9, and then means at the down I'm seeing it as 6. It will be very difficult for us to agree that it's either 6 or 9 due to our way of seeing it. Yes, that's how I see it. And then if you want to correct or if you want to correct or to know whether a question is either substantive or verbal, the question you have to ask yourself is that what they are talking about, can they both agree on a stipulative definition? If yes, they can agree on stipulative definition, then you can say it is a verbal. But if they cannot agree on it, or if there is no stipulative definition, then you have to say that you have to know that it is substantive. And then even if it is verbal or they both agree on stipulative definition, you can ask yourself again that can any of them have any question at all that they are still not understanding? If yes, even though they agree, but one is not satisfied with what they are saying, it is still substantive.
Very good.
That is how I see it to be.
Well done. That's your
And
rendition.
then
Jonka, you come back again. Otherwise, people will beat me up because I see 7 hands up. So thank you for what you have said so far. Let me take someone else and then we will always rotate and come back. Okay. Let me take Claudia Ama Sewa Inkum. Anything you heard in the text?
Madam, sorry, I'm taking us back to the broad and narrow. With this example, the murder is evil. Is it the same as evil is murder, or there is a difference?
When I say murder is evil, I'm saying if you don't know murder, look at an Ebola. Okay, but if I say
evil is murder. Oh.
I can hear everything, but respectfully, I'm multitasking, so it's difficult for me. I'm doing an online session, so I'll take the recording. I just have to bear with everyone because I think the time fits a lot of us. So we can always.
Madam, please, if you say evil is murder, it is. If you say murder is evil, it is too broad. If you say murder is evil, I see that too broad. But if you say evil is murder, I see that narrow. That's how I see it.
I'm sorry, guys. I think what your friend said is very good. So I can take thank you, sir. Let me take a comment from. Let me take another comment from. I see Claudia Ama Sewa. Claudia, go ahead. Claudia just asked the question. I'm sorry. So Claudia, if you got the distinction I made between narrow and broad, if you say evil is murder, and then you say murder is evil, these are two different. One is definiendum in the first instance, but in the second instance, one is definiens. Okay. The same, see, if I say evil is murder, here the definiendum, what I don't know is evil. And I'm using murder to help you understand evil. That's the point I'm making, okay? But if I change it and I say murder is evil, I'm saying something different. I'm saying if you don't know murder, look at evil. That's the challenge. Okay. So depending on, so if I say a girl is a human being, and I meant it to be a definition, this can also be a factual. But if I said, oh, take this expression as a definition, what problem will you have with it? What's the expression? A girl is a human being. I'm then saying that if you don't know a girl, look at a human being. You see, if you don't know a girl, look at a human being, we'll have a problem. The problem we'll have is we have broadened it too much. So if I even see a boy who is also a human being, I'll call him a girl, because if you don't know a girl, look at a human being. That is what is happening in this first instance, where I said a girl is a human being. The problem will be it was too broad. As soon as I switch it and I say a human being is a girl, what I'm saying has changed. I'm saying if you don't know a human being, look at a girl. That would mean that if I see a boy, I won't call him a human being, because that's how I define human being. I say human being is a girl. So it's the relationship between the definiendum and the definiens that is helping you diagnose. Why? I hope that helps. Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Most welcome. Please go ahead. Let me take Buedu Nyako Akosia. Go ahead. Oh, Buedu Nyako. Can I get Tano Enoch in Tiamwa then? No, Tano's hand just went down. Entry Abigail. Okay. Please, do you have an input you are making?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, madam.
Is there a question?
Hello, madam.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, madam. I want to throw more light on the verbal and the substantive.
Please throw light. Include a torchlight. Why? Go ahead.
Okay. For the verbal, let's say the man is infantile, and the other said no, he's not. It means that he knows what he's saying. So if he's not infantile, then he is a can. So the dispute can be resolved, because he is describing how it is, not what should be. And for the substantive, he gave an example like the man is real Christian. The man is not a real Christian because he doesn't.
Thank you very much. Yes.
He doesn't speak in tongues.
Thank you. I think that hey, what I get at the background, is it from us? Okay. All right. If you got all that, then we are almost done, because the content on the screen, they have captured all. If I give it to this my two fine gentlemen and two fine ladies who gave us such a good introduction, I tell you, they will do the lecture easy. Be on standby. When I get troublesome students and all those who are troubled, I'll send them. I'll send you their contact so that you assist them. Why? At a small a. All right. That one is not on the record, so we can move. We have done metaphors. Why? This one, what is on your screen now, has already been done. Your friends have touched on it. Look at this one. We have done that. Substantive disagreement. Two. They do not convey a single objective. I want someone to make an input on the slide. I'll just be projecting. Where is my friend? Someone elaborate on this one for us, please. Entry Abigail, go ahead, please. Oh, Joshua's hand got shut up. Josh, go ahead. Thank you so much.
Okay. These ones on the screen, they are either proverbial sentences or metaphors. And usually
You keep running the lecture as I project, so keep talking until I mute. I'll mute myself until I will mute.
Okay, madam. So what's on the screen are basically proverbial or metaphorical sentences or things, and then they are used to give meaning to a particular sentence or to a particular statement at a particular time. They are usually not explained literally as they seem to be or objectively as they seem to be. So when you look at the first sentence saying, the hen also knows when the sun rises, but it is the cock that crows. Could be an advice, a reprimand, or an instruction. And then the second one saying, Kofi is a pig. Kofi is a pig. When someone reads it literally or tries to explain it literally as it is written, one may think that Kofi is being insulted by the speaker here, being referred to as an animal, a pig. But it might not be the case. It might be the case that the person is referring to Kofi being a glutton, someone who likes to eat too much, or even someone who likes to dirty himself very often. And then the third one says, we are the sheep of his slaughter. Okay, so we are the sheep of his slaughter. Someone might think, take their mind or cast their mind back to Isaac being sacrificed by Abraham. No, it's not that kind of sacrifice here. Maybe the person's actions, you guys are at the end of it. So when you guys are the receiving end of the person's bad actions, then you might say you are the sheep of his slaughter. When you say life is war, we all know fought in a war before, but when you say life is war, it's basically trying to say life is full of ups and downs, and then we might be able or we might be facing a lot of challenges in life.
Take that advice from T.A. Joshua for today. Today, the brother is T.A. Joshua Ferry. Take that advice from him. Better be explicit if you don't want trouble. Go on.
Yes, please. So, in the sense where you want to make a statement or a sentence and you don't tell your readers, you don't want your readers to interpret what you are saying objectively, then metaphors and proverbs are not supposed to be your thing. And you are supposed to be straightforward with what you are saying. Straightforward with what you are saying. If you are done with this, let's slide. Madam, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, so everyday uses of language, we make certain mistakes or we cause certain problems in the use of languages, as our brother initially asked madam about linguistic vices. So these are basically the three mistakes or problematic uses of language we encounter in our daily studies. First one being statement of ambiguity, or when we say a statement is ambiguous. Statement is ambiguous, or when a statement is made, but one statement can have two different meanings and the intended meaning is not clear from the statement. Guys are ambiguous. So when you look at the slide being projected, students cook and serve their grandpas. The editor or the chief of editor of the graphic might not literally be saying that the students cut up their grandparents, spice them up with hunger and everything, and then serve them. Okay? They may be saying that the students cook food and then serve their grandparents. But as it is written plainly, someone might take it, read it up, and then interpret it as the first statement I made, that the students killed their grandparents, cooked them, and then served them to someone else. And someone might also be able to read them correctly as the students cooked food, any various kind of food, and then served their grandparents with them. So when you make this kind of statement and you don't inform or you don't pre-inform your readers, or you don't tell your readers about the kind of statement you are making, you say the statement is ambiguous and hence several meanings could be derived from that statement termed as an ambiguous statement or statement of ambiguity. Madam, please. Yes, please. So, several other examples of statements of ambiguity. Says, San Jose cops kill man with knife. So, with this statement, several meanings that could be derived from this statement is a San Jose cop, which literally means a police, kills a man with a knife. Okay. Or a San Jose cops, which is a police again, also shoots a man who is holding a knife. Okay. Or a San Jose corpse, which means corpse. So basically, there are
you take note of that. Very, very, very good. Keep going.
Means there are basically different meanings which could be derived from this sentence. And when people derive different meanings from this sentence, they could mean something different from what you are trying to actually put out there. And hence, several impressions may be created about them, making all of them ambiguous. The most critical example here are the St. Martin's Episcopal Church. You see, we love hurting people. When you're walking by a church and you see this symbol, we love hurting people. You're gonna think what? We love hurting people. They love inflicting pain on people, or what? But literally, the church is trying to mean that they love or they accommodate people who are hurting. That's the meaning they want to put out there. But since they made this ambiguous statement of we love hurting people, someone might read it and interpret it as they love inflicting pain or they love causing pain. Then slow children crossing. I usually see this when I'm at church or going to campus. They say men at work, slow down. Men at work, slow down. So who are the signs?
Refuse to work after death. That's in your textbook. Minors refuse to work after death. Galamsey people. But I said those who are mining refuse to work after death. Is it that when they died, then they stopped working? You know. Or it's very ambiguous. I will say it. Keep going.
It says men at work, slow down. So when you're driving, you see this, you ask yourself, is it telling the men that are working to slow down, or me that I'm driving to slow down? It's a very ambiguous statement, and people create several meanings into that single statement out there. Please.
Yes, please. Very good. I've seen Frimpong and Andrew keep raising their hands and dropping them. So I don't know. I want to give a Frimpong. I am a bit hesitant to call people with only one name, but that's the only hand up now. So maybe there won't be ambiguity. Frimpong say, do you want to continue for us? Otherwise, we allow TA Joshua to continue. And then where are my other TAs? I have about 4 TAs on my platform today. For today, TA for today. Your point not TA ship no. Frimpong, do you want to continue or your friend keeps going? We have refreshed our memories on ambiguity. We want to move to equivocation.
I'll ask question after.
Is there a question you had, please?
I'm not convinced with the two that he has explained so far.
No, he's not explaining. He's telling us what he made. So could you tell us what you think it is? Yes, that would be very helpful to others. Okay, so tell us yours. The letter has been done. We even have the recording there to always reference. But today is to mop up. I want you to do peer interaction. That way, it helps you feel a bit more at ease. You see how you said it? If I was the one speaking, you wouldn't be able to say it that way, that I don't agree with you. You would have said, oh, Doc, please, could you explain that? But it's your colleague, so it helps you bring out that. So go ahead with it.
Madam, please allow him to boss on after that.
Which one should I move to? Which slide? Or better still, you tell us yours. It's not even in reference to his. You wanted to say something about ambiguity or equivocation. Hello, Gideon. Okay, I see.
Hello. Hello, madam.
I was referring. Gideon, go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you, Gideon. Ampona. My second team.
Okay, I'll talk about the equivocation.
I think we have enough on ambiguity now. So equivocation. Okay.
Hello?
Please go ahead, sir. I'll mute so that I don't interrupt.
Okay, I'll talk about the equivocation. The equivocation is when different connotations of a word are used in the same context as if they mean the same without notice of the audience, and it is accused of being equivocal. Like example that it is in the slides, you were saying that noisy children are really headache. Two aspirin will make a headache go away. Therefore, two aspirin will make noisy children go away. This means that we are talking about the first statement. Noisy children are really headache. It means children are they are really headache. They are making noise, so it gives you a headache. And the second one is saying two aspirin will make headache go away. We are referring that two children will make the headache go away. So this contents we are giving two connotation, or you're giving two meaning of what headache. So it makes what the sentence equivocal, like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in the what in the sentence. Then let's go ahead by taking another example. Mad people must be institutionalized. Gideon is madly in love with Abigail, so he must be institutionalized. Now the first statement you're telling me that
Gideon, why are you afraid? I am afraid to put Nancy. I just want you to laugh. So Gideon is madly in love with Abigail. These two senses of mad, according to Gideon, are different. This one is different from the earlier one. And so if the person concludes, look at the conclusion there, then that is why Gideon has a problem with the person, that the person is committing equivocation. Okay, that is what Gideon is saying. Very good. Please go on to the next one.
okay, we will talk about the vagueness. When we talk about vagueness, the vagueness is a word when it's a the vagueness occurs when you intend the meaning, like the meaning is unclear, like the word is unclear. You say something and it is unclear. You don't want the person to get what you are saying. Example, let's say Gideon has kicked the bucket. This means
Okay,
that Gideon has the but you use the kick the bucket to for the person not to get what you are saying, because maybe if the person hears what you are saying, maybe the person can also die. So Gideon used someone used Gideon has kicked the bucket to make you to become you not to understand what you are saying. So the word become vagueness.
The thing is, when we say, for example, like your fine example you give, if I say Gideon has kicked the bucket, God forbid it could mean that he's bathing and his leg has hit the bucket in the bathroom. Literally, it could mean that. And it could also mean that the unfortunate, okay? So it's vague, it's indeterminate. This is where we use a metaphorical language. On our screen now, we even see where it's extremely general. Vagueness means it's extremely general, that there is no specificity, it's not specific, it's not determinate. Ambiguity, it is not extremely general. You see the options. There are two or sometimes three ways of interpreting the same thing. So we don't know which one, but it is clear, just that we don't know which of the ones that it points to that you are referring to. But as for vagueness, the thing itself is not even clear to allow us determine what specifically I say. So if I say he's coming in any moment from now, what is any moment from now? It can be this minute, next 10 minutes, 10 years from today, 100 million years to come is still any moment from now. Extremely general. That's the point we have when we say it is vague, it's indeterminate. Okay. All right. Very good. Now let's move. Yeah, I don't think I should even keep you this long. It's all revision. So all these are examples of vagueness. See, then the types of discourse. Let's see if there's another hand up. If not, then I get okay. Faustina, your hand is up again. Thank you so much, Big Boss. Be on standby, the two of you plus my ladies. And all other hands.
Madam,
Faustina, help us.
I wanted to talk about the vagueness when he said when you want to talk about something, you don't want someone to know. But it seems you cleared that point.
Forgive me, I talk too much. I think I can make you out now. Faustina. Okay, we had a ride together.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, I just saw the
Yes.
you. Thank you. So let's take someone else now to help us with what is on our slide currently. Very good. Very impressive. You see how you are running the lecture. I'm only guiding. If we are going to this, I put us back, but you are running it. That tells me that you understood the content or you made an effort at going through what has been done. Another hand up to walk us through these slides. I'll just move them. I've seen these two hands. So if I could get another, I would be very grateful. But if not, then Clement, please go ahead. Clement Bafwa, shut up and scroll. Then you walk us through. Okay.
Okay, madam. We have four main types of discourse. The first one is narration. Narration, telling the story as it happens from the beginning to the end in a sequence manner. That's the narration. You are telling a story, but you are telling it from as it happens from the beginning to the end. So you are narrating it to us. Then the instruction, telling how to do it or how to get it done. That's the step, the process to get something done. That is the instructions. You are telling it the process. You are telling us the process of getting something done. Then the rhetorical polemic. Sometimes you are only expressing strong emotions, but here you are doing. We have emotive expression, but that one is just a statement. But this one is in the passage, so it becomes rhetoric polemic. You are expressing a strong emotion. Yes, so that one between the emotive expression and then the rhetoric polemic. The rhetoric polemic is normally
a compilation, a several collection of them. Very good. Oh, sorry about that. I think Clement is having difficulties with his network, but I think he has worked that through very well. Thank you so much, Clement. We'll take Charlotte Pashi Ajoy now. Thank you so much, Clement. Thank you. Let's take we are taking Charlotte. Charlotte now. Charlotte, go ahead. Continue with what you see on the slides to help us remember what we did earlier. Or you want to ask a question? Your hand is lifted up, please. Oh, if Charlotte is not able to, then we can take, is it Sani Zuera? Sani.
Madam, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right, sure. Types of discourse.
So our friend got to polemical rhetoric. He had already done narrative, instruction, polemical rhetoric. So we can now go to argument, which was the fourth one. Then you take us.
Okay. Madam, please, I'm reading.
Please, oh, don't read. I want you to tell us. Okay. So you look at the slides and slide and highlight the main things there. Because we've done the lecture already, we have interacted extensively. Now I want to get it from you as you look at it. So it's okay. The fourth type of discourse is called argument, and it is that type of discourse that does this and that. Then you move in that order, so it can help us. Okay, it will be more crisp, more rounded, and will be coming from students. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, if you need to reorganize yourself a bit, then let me take Jessica, Fafa, and come back. Okay.
All right, madam.
Yes, please. Jessie, go ahead. Jessica, Fafa, lecture.
Colleague explained the other types of discourse, so I'll continue with the argument.
Thank you.
So the argument talks about the conclusion and the reason. So the reason here is the premises. It talks about the premises and the evidence of something that has been offered. Okay. So normally arguments are stated in passages. And the two main words which we will always find in the argument in the passage is the conclusion and the reason. So for example of the conclusion in passages, we can conclude by saying that or therefore or yes, so that therefore all these things are conclusion. So when we talk about the reason or the evidence or the premises, for example, can be so or hence. Yes, so
Okay, so
that's
those
it.
words, just to help you out a little. So those words are conclusion indicator words. They indicate conclusion. They point to the conclusion. The words are what? So, that's, hence, as a result. Every argument has only one conclusion. When you try to give reasons why we should support a certain claim, we say you are arguing. We are arguing. When we say there are premises leading to conclusion, it means I'm trying to say something and I'm giving reasons to support what I am saying. Then I'm arguing. Okay. Now what I'm eventually saying is the conclusion. So, therefore, hence, as a result, these words point to what I want to say. Ultimately, that's the conclusion, which is also called claim. Whilst the rest are the reasons I offer to support what I'm trying to say. So Madam just said that if you look on the screen, these words, since, if, given that, provided, indicate premises. These are all words that are pointing toward premises. So when you see provided that he studies, then he will pass the exam. The provided that is pointing you to what? The evidence, the premise, the reasons. That's what Madam was saying. Whilst words like thus, hence, therefore, so, point you to the conclusion. So if I gave you this slide on your screen now, and I said all students write exams, and Amma is a student, so Amma also writes exams. I have just argued with you. What I did is an argument that I raised, and the two up there in blue, these ones, are your premises that are leading you to the conclusion. So she writes exams. Okay. While the first one, the second one, most Ghanaians are hospitable. My mother is a Ghanaian, therefore she's hospitable. That is what the therefore down there leads you to the statement. That is what the conclusion. She is hospitable. The whole of it is the conclusion. Up there, she writes exam is the conclusion. The other ones are the premises. So this is what Madam is trying to put across. I hope I didn't take a meat from her plate. So look at this. It's very important. Madam, take it from there and I shut up. If I don't mute, I'll interrupt. Madam, please, are you there? Okay, I see. Thank you so much, my lady. So I see Justina, a first hand up. If Justina could just emphasize this, what is there? I just changed the slide again. It will help us to move on to the next slide. We should be done in the next 5 minutes or so. Okay. Justina, the hand just went down again. Felix Obi is a new hand I see. Mike Lynn, if it is a question, then it's fine. If you want to respond to, please let me know. I see Felix Obi. Is it a question or to respond? Please, go ahead.
But I wanted to add to the argument.
Please add, Felix. Add. I'm shutting up. Go ahead.
Okay, concerning the argument, it's like when every argument has a single alternate, and also you don't have to win argument at all costs. And it must have a reason.
Very, very important. Some people don't understand academic work. They feel that if you are a critical thinker, it means that you must always win an argument. No. Refer to the first lecture, lecture 1. You will see the point I've just made there. A critical mind knows how to admit it when they face or they meet what? Superior reasoning. Superior meaning what? You are giving grounds to support. We'll do unit 6 and we'll engage our deduction and induction a bit more closely. Okay, you will see that sometimes you can't say that the bachelor has beaten his wife mercilessly. And when you are being told that, oh, but this cannot be correct, you are saying, hey, they don't have passion. Look at the girl's face. So did you see how they treated the girl? I said, you cannot. What you are saying is not true. The person is not listening to you. So you show them why you think what they are saying is not true. He won't listen. If the person is a bachelor, he cannot beat his wife because he cannot even have a wife to beat. So you say, I didn't speak well. I think what I meant is that guy who is living with that lady. So you correct it. So sometimes you are insisting on something. It might even be just merely linguistic. You can't say you were never in that courtroom. However, when you were in that courtroom that day, you didn't even hear what the judge said. Hey, were you there or you were not there? He said you were not there. You could have not been there before. However, when you were inside that room there, you didn't even hear what the judge said. That is problematic. So if we were arguing, I could flaw your reasoning either on linguistic grounds, language grounds, or on what? Or on technical grounds, or even on content grounds. The point is, you don't have to win argument all the time. That is not it. You have to win argument when you have the grounds to. If there is no grounds to, you are not obliged to win an argument. Don't think because you're a critical thinker, you must win at all costs. When you see superior argument, as a critical mind, you should be able to admit that in the face of superior reasoning, you must give in. And that giving in is a sign that you are what? A critical thinker. You do not have to win argument at all costs. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we are so done with everything now. Let me see if there is something else that has to be covered on our slides. If not, then I'll take only questions and wrap up. Well done. So we have seen this, the part of an argument. This is an example to help you. These are all examples to help you detect premises, conclusions. All these, okay. All these. The 6 senses of the word law, they are just, you should just read and know it, and that is it. Any questions? Justina, if I say a question, please. Okay, Jessica Yafafa, please, is there a question?
Yes, please, a question.
Go ahead.
Please, my question here is based on the open textured concept and the well-defined terms. I still really don't understand it. I have been trying to, but it still doesn't. The open textured terms.
Have you engaged the content, please?
Yes, severally, and I'm trying to understand it, but
how do you understand?
The understanding is not coming.
Don't worry. How do you understand? Maybe the understanding has come. That's why you will chase a goose if the understanding has already come. So let me know how you understand.
No, what? I don't really understand. Okay, according to the slide here, the slide says that.
What you read, what do you see?
Yes.
Can we have our own understanding of what democracy is? Do you know that some people practice parliamentary democracy? Some do monarchy in this our world. Some do kingship. They think, everybody's view, they think is democracy. Let's look at development. Everybody believes that they are developing. But what we mean as what? By development is the problem. And nobody's right and nobody's wrong. Look at the word family. For me, family may be church folks. Someone might think that family is their foster parent, the one who took care of them, not the one who just gave birth to them and dropped them and traveled to abroad and have been there for 33 years. The one they consider to be family is the one that took care of them. Can you say they are wrong or they are right? If you say for bra be worry me, bring your family to come and marry, he will bring the one that he calls mother and father. And you can't force him. The point we are making is it's because of the nature of the concept. Some people think their dogs are more family to them than even human beings. They feed the dog better. It is because of the nature of the concept family. Our ex-president of blessed memory would say, my brothers and sisters, I'm referring to Professor Tamils now, who say, my brothers and sisters. He's addressing the nation. Our current president will say, fellow Ghanaians. So all I'm trying to say is that you cannot have your own version of even number when you are doing mathematics. No. But you can have a version of democracy and practice it as a nation. Another nation cannot tell you that. That is not democracy. Some define democracy as well. Freedom of speech. They acknowledge it. They recognize it. It is paramount on their list. Others also think democracy is what? Self-rule. Let the person rule. Laissez-faire kind of rule. Perhaps for another, the self-rule is captured in what? Ballot box orientation. Others to one-man rule is still what they call democracy. Why? Because the people chose that one person should rule them throughout. A monarch, when he dies, his son to also continue. When he's died, his great grand. The people have chosen it. It is self-rule. They chose it. So the point I'm making is all these will be various renditions of what? Democracy. You can have various thinkings or views of what even number is in math. You cannot. If you want to have another one, you get the answer wrong when they mark it. Because one has concepts that are closed, like your friend said. The other one is dealing with a concept that is open to contestation. That's why it is essentially contested. What it is essentially can be contested, can be argued about. So now it is your duty, Ante, to engage the content from this further elaboration I've given you. Read the textbook. If you don't have the textbook, and I didn't say if you don't own one, if you can own it, it's the best. The idea one or the binkumnet, if it is yours, you can do anything you want. If you go and borrow someone's, the time you need it, you say, give me my book. That's why we always wish that the student will own it. But if you can't own it, you can have one, a friend's own that you borrow and look, or your colleague who has finished and has one there, you can take it and study. But you must see the book because it gives you elaboration, especially where the contact time like this still doesn't help you. We learn differently. So you see all the write-ups there in the book to enrich you. Okay, so try that and let's hope that it works. Okay, please, there are 5 hands up, now 6, but some of them, when you call them, they are.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, my lady. Then put it down so that I can take questions. We are done and end. Kekeli.
Hello, madam.
If it's a question, ask.
Okay. Madam, my question is about the senses of the law, senses of law, of the word law. With scientific law, I'm suggesting, so I want to know if it's correct. With scientific law, it's empirical, meaning it can be experimented or
like a factual. That's all. It's like the way we deal with factual statement. That's how we deal with scientific laws, empirical laws. They can fail. So if I say every woman who gets pregnant will deliver in 9 months' time, it doesn't mean it must strictly be so. It must be obeyed necessarily. Some children will come in 7. We'll do it better in unit 7. That's why I'm not bothering you much. Okay.
I want to ask this.
Because it asks, think of a scientific statement or natural statement as what? As think of it as factual statement, which observation can affirm or deny. Do you see that? But when it comes to the other laws there, they are all normative, all of them. It's only the scientific one, the one based on observation, that we call natural and therefore empirical. All the others, you see, the customary law, logical law, they are normative, they are prescriptive. Either think of them like you think of value judgment or definitions. That is how we use the word. This is what we mean when we say this. This is how we do things here, so you must obey. You can't have an alternative view of it. You see what we are doing since level since topic 1. The distinction between definition and value judgment is the problem. Is the problem. So when you see a scientific statement, you're dealing with a factual statement. Think of it that way. A scientific law. It's like a factual statement. Observation is what confirms or denies it. That means it could be factually true or factually false. So it's just like a prediction. It can fail.
Okay.
When it is a scientific law. Whereas if it is the normative one, we ensure that it is obeyed. Criminal codes, customary law. Alagbemi, you know the guys amongst us. If they say today there's ban on noise making, you can go playing yours. It is a customary something. Some are civil laws, okay? Some are moral codes. They are all there, all the laws, the mathematical laws, logical laws, divine laws. They are all normative. You can't have your version to it. If you go against it, you will be forced to conform. I give you wrong in the maths, but I arrest you and take you to court. It's the way I'm forcing you to conform. I bring the broom from the fetish priest to your place and tell you are wanted at our place for playing drums when we say you shouldn't play. That is what helps us to what? Conform, forces us. So think of those ones as definitions of value judgment, prescriptive. You shouldn't do this here. It means if you do it, we'll punish you. Can you tell the baby that is coming out of her mother's womb that you shouldn't come before 9 months? If you come, you'll be arrested. No. In fact, you push the baby out because as a man, because that law is not a prescriptive one or a normative one like the others. That one is a scientific law which is allowed to fail. It's a prediction. Okay, we'll delve into it more in Unit 7. You will get the understanding better.
Thank you, madam.
You're most welcome. I see 5 hands. Please put all the hands down if I have addressed it, please. There's another class right after this. So if it's a question, ask. Please.
Hello, madam.
Please ask the question.
Yeah, based on the verbal dispute and the substantive disagreement. On my understanding, I think you said the verbal, when there is a common word that maybe they are using inconsistently at the end of the day, like they are not actually disagreeing. In the case as you made the example of somebody saying, let's say Ajwa is a nurse, then the other one says she's not really a nurse because she doesn't take care of her patients. So please come again.
If you could clarify what your question, I want the question. Just ask the question.
Yeah, based on this understanding, and the other one, the substantive, you said like
you are not asking a question.
A disagreement. Yeah, I want to make this thing based on my.
I don't need you to make anything. I want you to, because we have learned interrogative now. So ask me a question. Doc, what is so and so? If I say I don't understand it, then you clarify. Do you understand? So ask a question. I don't understand this. Could you please explain so and so and so?
Okay, so let's say I've used a word in maybe some dictionary and somebody. Sorry.
If you do that, it means you are not using.
Yeah, this is the question I'm asking. This is the question I'm asking.
This is a question. It was listen to me. If I'm training you, listen. It will help you. Ask a question. Say that the president has finished a State of the Nation's address. Journalists have queued to ask. They've given you the microphone. Ask. People will now write a thesis. Then the journalists will be moving them off and bringing some. I want you to ask. Be crisp and rounded. Okay. So ask me. Okay, Doc. I don't understand the distinction between this and that. Then if I didn't get you, I will ask you, can you clarify what exactly then you add there, does ya? You see that? That is better for you. So please ask me what you don't understand. I want to address that.
Well, when I've used a word and somebody says like that is not what I mean, how would I classify that? Being a verbal dispute or a substantive disagreement?
It's not even a dispute in the first place. If it's a dispute, then you have said it this way. The other person says, no, it's not that. It's this other way. That's when you have a dispute. What you are saying could be that you have been vague, which we know we have gone through moments ago, or it could be that you have been ambiguous. You see that? Where you are, the way you have said it could have more than one meaning. So the person wants you to share, is it this meaning of it that you have in mind or that other meaning? Okay, that's the second ambiguity. Or you may have equivocated. There are several reasons why people will have problems with what you said. So it depends on the specific thing you have said then that we are able to tell. It's not a dispute yet. Dispute is where we are speaking. Then I say no to what you have said. So there is a supposed disagreement. That is when we diagnose to see whether it is a verbal one or a substantive one.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm trying to put it there like if it is, let's say I'm speaking figuratively.
When you speak figuratively, we know the crime that you can commit. We have gone through it today. You see that? When you speak figuratively, it's a metaphor or perhaps a proverb or perhaps a figurative expression. Yeah. When you do that, we have already gone through to tell you what kind of error you will commit. Which one would that be? So you revise that. Even today's discussion, we have touched on that, okay? You will likely be vague. Okay. Let's take Ellie, did you get me? You will likely be vague because when you are speaking metaphor, our friend, I think it was a Affair that touched on that, and I told you take what your friend is advising you with very well. He says okay, so Mike Lane is off. Ellie Plim, we are sorted. Doctors don't pray. I can do the next 1 minute because it's a marathon, it's a back-to-back. I have to rest a little before the next class comes in. Okay, so let me clear up. I think, who is speaking now? Doctors, is there a question?
Yes.
Please,
Madam, about the problems arising with definitions, can you also say we have multi-flawed definition? Because there can be a sentence that
don't worry yourself, Doctors. Why not? There can be even interrogatives and imperatives. One expression could be both interrogative and imperative for different reasons. We have learned that. We have seen that you can be stating a fact, which would be a value judgment because of how you say. If you say most Ghanaians do not approve of abortion, that is both factual and valid. It's ditto in your textbook. If you don't engage it, I won't be able to help. Not you, now. I'm telling the class. In the same way, you can have an expression that is doing more than one, that is committing more than one error because of how the book tells you that straight. One expression could be diagnosed as too broad and at the same time too narrow if you look at the different conceptions of that same word. Okay, so as for the overlaps, we've had it, even definitions. One definition could be both theoretical and lexical, could be stipulative and also this. Now, doomsday is almost becoming lexical. Meanwhile, it was supposed to be stipulative to Ghana, but it is being captured into the dictionary. All those overlaps are there. From scratch, a critical mind should remember always that we don't always have white and black. We could have gray areas, a blend of some white and black mixed together. That is from scratch. Deduction and induction can have an overlap. Okay, so that's my answer. And take it as a principle throughout to the end. One passage may be committing a fallacy of appealing to the masses, and at the same time, maybe a genetic fallacy also. Okay, when we get to unit 10. Thank you so much. Any other, please? Thank you all.
Hello, madam.
Amos, quick.
Okay, madam, please, just an example and equivocation, and I just want you to just tell me whether it's a good example of equivocal statement or something.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the slave queen got married recently with a renowned footballer.
Okay, what I'll do is
then the man.
Don't worry. Listen, Amos. I'll answer such a question later. Okay. No. It could be a question that one of my colleagues has given. So don't worry. When we finish all the assessment, then we can look at it. Okay. You at least you understand equivocation. We don't have any issues with that.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
I only sleeping or two.
And last question, let me end there. I think that we have done some.
Madam,
Let me end
last
there.
question. Madam, what is